Welcome to the Michael Singer podcast, presented by Sounds True, in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information about Michael Singer's work, access to all prior episodes, and information about upcoming releases, we invite you to join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com.
Jai Gurudev, Jai Masters. There is a life that everyone can live that's founded on peace, love, harmony, giving, compassion, all these beautiful, beautiful flows of energy. It is the natural state of a human being to be in that state. Everyone is capable. It doesn't matter what you've ever done. It doesn't matter what they've ever done. Period. It is the natural state of your being. Like I teach that the natural state of the body is health. Is it always healthy? No. But if you were to take all the people alive today and take the minutes in which their body was healthy over the course of their life, versus when it was sick, the numbers are not even close. The body knows how to take care of itself. It's programmed, created to be healthy. There's an immune system, digestive, there's all these systems that are made to support the body. It is the same thing inside of you. There is a natural system inside of you that's way more intelligent than your body's intelligence, and your body's very, very intelligent. The systems are phenomenal. But for your higher self, for your heart, for your mind, and for the seat of consciousness, the systems are way beyond that which supports the body. So why don't all human beings feel psychologically and spiritually healthy? We'll call it that. We've discussed that a million times. We're just going to go deeper into it and then go past that. If you were to shove into your body food or substances that it can't handle. It wasn't built to handle them. There are chemicals, there are foods, there are things that are just not healthy for your body. Well, then the body's not going to be healthy. But you did that. Inside, your natural state is joy. Your natural state is love. Your natural state is really, truly ecstasy, bliss, all constantly a flow, an upward flow of energy feeding you day and night, all the time, no matter what happens. That's your background. That's your support structure underneath. What happened? Exactly the same as what happened if you eat wrong or breathe poisons or do different things, polluted air and stuff, water. The body can't handle it. Well, you've done things inside yourself that mess up your internal system, your natural flow. What are those? It's exactly the same as what happens when you eat wrong, when you breathe bad air and stuff like that. You have taken in situations that have unfolded in life. We've talked about it a lot of times. Life is a happening place. Things happen. That's just the way it is. The weather happens. People happen. People have moods. People go through different things. Animals happen. All kinds of things happen all the time. That's what's going on in this world. If you weren't here, it would still be going on. It goes on all over the place. And you experience the ones that are in front of you. Someday you will understand, so what? This is the part of reality that I got to experience, the part that's in front of me. So what? The problem is that just like you can't digest or handle food that is not proper for your body, if you can't handle the situations that are happening in front of you, you suppress them. You hold on to them. You push them away. I've discussed that over and over again. If you store inside of you stuff that is not healthy, you didn't do well with it, and you couldn't handle the fact that you couldn't digest that. You wouldn't digest the events that happen in front of you. What do? You push them away, and you store them inside of you. I've asked you a bunch of times, if you store everything that ever bothered you inside of you, what's it going to be like in there? I'm telling you, it's going to be bothered. That's why your natural energy flow, the natural flow of your being, cannot take care of you. Just like if you ate wrong and did different things, your body, they can't handle it. Can't handle it. That's what you've done. You've resisted events in your life that you couldn't handle. I'm not going to say you didn't like. Let's not go there yet. You just couldn't handle them. You handle some events. You handle lots of events. But you couldn't handle those events. And so what you did is store them inside of you. And that has messed up your entire system. What's the solution? Don't store those inside of you. I normally wait to the end of my talk to discuss that. We might as well let the cat out of the bag right away. Okay? If you're having trouble and stomach aches and different things, don't ask, where's my Pepto-Bismol? Where's my Alka-Seltzer? Ask, what am I eating that is messing up this beautiful body that's programmed to be healthy? And change your diet. If you are unable to handle reality as it unfolds in front of you, learn how to. That, to me, I've been through all this growth, all this meditation, all this stuff. My God, 52 years. That's what it came down to. You're storing inside of you stuff that is screwing up a completely natural system that will happen by itself. You have to do all this tapasya, all these difficult things and all that stuff. You just have to stop storing garbage inside of you. And if you stop storing garbage inside of you, you will find out that you're very beautiful. You don't have to do anything else. If a hot air balloon, its natural state is to go up in the air. But if it's tethered down, don't sit there and keep putting helium or different things to make it go up. Cut the tethers. It's exactly the same inside of you. You have screwed yourself up. People don't like to hear that. You understand that? There's nothing that has screwed you up except you. But these events have happened. Yeah, but you couldn't handle them. You couldn't handle that this person said this, or this person did that, or that it rained on your birthday, or the driver in front of you is driving not the way you want it to, or that blah, 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 blah. You can't handle these things. Well, if you can't handle them, you push them away. And I'm telling you, I've done this a long time, and I'm not the only one teaching it, all right? The great ones taught that. These are some skaras. Ancient yoga taught this. You are taking these patterns that are unfolded in front of you. They come in on their way through the universe. Air, the wind blows past you. That's its nature. It keeps moving. Well, these events are trying to pass through you. I guarantee you, there are people on both sides of you, they pass right through them. They don't have any problem with them. The fact that your wife left you. They don't know your wife. They don't know you. It's an event. They were there with you. You saw it. Okay? It just passed right through them like the wind. But it didn't pass through you. And if it didn't pass through you, it's because you stopped it. And I shouldn't have used that example because that's graduate school. Okay? But or the driver in front of you, they don't use their blinker. They keep stepping on their brakes. They go 15 miles below the speed limit. Can you handle that? No. You have to complain. You have to get upset. You have to get disturbed. It didn't come in and pass through you. But I want you to understand, it passed through the air, it passed through all the other cars around you. Events happen, and then they have energy, and the energy just flows through the universe. That's been happening from the beginning of time. But it didn't make it through you. And there's only one reason it didn't, because you stopped it. Do you understand that? You resisted the passage of that event as it passed through you. Now, I know your mindset is logical. Anybody who gets said about this, I don't care. I literally don't. I'm telling you, you need to learn the truth. If it doesn't make it past you, it's because you stopped it. Nothing's stopping it but you. You're the only one in there. And you stopped it. And what happens when you stop it? That's what suppression, repression, denial, resistance, I call it. The psychology likes to give big names to it and talk about, well, how much did you resist it? Did you resist it to the point of denying that it even happened? Okay, well, now you got some problems, all right? Did you resist it to the point where you never want to think about it again? You pushed it away so it didn't exist. You know, don't know it, so talk about it. Well, that's suppression and repression. You understand that? That's what all psychology is about. The fact that you're screwed up, but you screwed yourself up. No one will tell you that. The therapist won't talk to you about that. I'm not supposed to talk to you that way. I'm not saying, don't feel guilty. Just understand there's no one in there but you. There is no one in there but you. Your eyes didn't resist it. Your ears didn't resist it. Your senses don't resist it. They just pass it right through. Okay? But when it came into your consciousness and you were aware and you couldn't handle that vibration, you said, no, not on my watch. And you did one of those psychologically damaging things of you resisted it. There, call it whatever you want. You resisted it. You have hands in there, don't you? You can push things around. You think that's innocent. You think you're protecting yourself. You're screwing yourself up. If something outside is scaring you and you put bars on your windows and shades all over the place so you can't look outside, guess who lost? You. Because there was one thing out there you couldn't handle. Once you saw it or somebody thought you saw it. Now you are locked into the cage that you made for yourself. That is what's happening inside. If you can't handle the events that are unfolding in front of you, you're going to store them inside and they're going to bother you for the rest of your life. Simple. Have you noticed? All right? That they're still there and that things can hit them. You know, it's your soft spots, your targets, you know, things that get hit and shoot stuff up. That stuff that's shooting up is like, I do it in Living Untethered, I say it. It's like if there's a stream of water flowing even, it's so gorgeous, flowing even. Put one rock in that water. You have eddies, sprays, currents. It creates disturbance in the flow. You created a disturbance in the force of this energy that's flowing through you. And the more of those you store, the more that the energy hits those and shoots out as your emotions. That's what your emotions are. I don't care what psychology teaches you. They're not natural. You're not a human being. You're a great, great being made of light, of Shakti, of energy, okay? Your humanness is created by what I'm talking to you about. You say, I'm only human. You're not. What you've done is shove these events inside of you, and now the energy force that's trying to flow up to feed you hits those and creates jealousy and emotion and fear and anxiety, all kinds of stuff, all right? Yeah, I think it's neat. You give names to the sprays. Now, it is true that biologically there is survival and fear of survival. You are living with an animal. That's a true statement. This thing's an animal. It evolved from an animal and it still is an animal. It has all the animalistic needs, this, that, and the other thing. Okay, you can rise above them, but that fear, the primal fear of survival, is not what I'm talking about. That is not your suppressed stuff shooting up and hitting it. But being afraid that somebody doesn't like you, being afraid that somebody said something about you, being afraid that somebody might say something about you to somebody that you don't know who they said it to. Now I have to worry about anyone I meet. All that garbage, all that personal stuff is only due to the fact that you have stored this stuff inside of you. So the question becomes, what do I do? I always tell you have two choices. You only have two choices. One, go out there and try to compensate for the mess you created inside yourself. And I know, I get people write me sometimes. So therapy says they shouldn't own it. It's not theirs, right? They'll feel guilty. They'll feel, no, feel strong. I'm encouraging you to fix it because you did it. If mommy did it, she's dead. That's many years ago. If the ex did it and it would hurt you, they did it. No, you did it. I want you to own it, but not guilty. Not with a sense of, oh my God, I'm so sorry, right? Just the fact is, if I stored it in there, I can let it go. It doesn't have to be in there. I can't get mommy to change what she did. I can't get the boyfriend or girlfriend to change everything. You understand that? I can't get the driver in front of me to drive differently, but I'm in control inside of me. So if I don't store it inside of me, guess what? It won't be stored inside of me. You can bring it back, memory, yeah, but it doesn't have all that junk attached to it of fear and anxiety and garbage, all human garbage that we created inside. It's not natural. You are not a human being. You are not a human being. You live with one, just like you're not an animal. You're not an animal. You live with one. It has animalistic tendencies. In my first book that I wrote, called The Search for Truth, it says basically this is your pet. It's like a pet. When it's hungry, meow, meow. It says, all right, but if anything it needs from an animalistic point of view, Freud called it the id. Freud's id is your body nature expressing itself in your mind. Freud analyzed the mind, said id, ego, superego. Well, the id part is your animal talking to you. Why does it have to talk to you? Because you're back in there, you can ignore it. You can not eat. You can get so lost in thought that you don't eat. So there better be a part of your mind that's representing your body. It's so neat that if you read The Search for Truth, I wrote that 50 years ago. It says that the id, is your body's representative in your mind. The superego is society's representative in your mind. Your ego is you building a self-concept that can live with all this garbage going on, but it's all in your mind. It's built in your mind. So yes, there is primal fear. Fine. You do not experience it very often. Do you understand that? There's not one of you, unless you're at war somewhere, that in today's Western culture that is experiencing primal fear on a regular basis. So fine, we took care of that. But the psychological fear, anxiety, insecurity, need, there are no needs. There are physical needs, body needs, okay? There are no psychological needs. I'm going to be very bold today. You'll be sorry you came. There are no psychological needs. There are not. Well, don't you have a need for love? Don't you have a need for friendship? You can have friendship. That's a beautiful thing. You can have love. It's a beautiful thing. You don't need it. You're filled with it naturally. You are whole and complete within yourself. When you're clean, this Shakti flow feeds you constantly. I'm not exaggerating, right? There's just this constant upward flow of love, of joy, of well-being. Now go out and share it. Of course, you don't have to go move to a mountain somewhere. Go out and get married. Go out and have children. Go out and earn money. Anything. Everything's fine. If you're doing it to express the beauty that's inside of you, not if you're doing it to find the beauty, because the beauty is not inside of you. I'm out here trying to do things so that I feel okay. Not I'm out here doing things because I do feel okay. I'm not playing music because I need a living and I want to make some money, and somebody said you sound pretty good with a guitar, so I figure if I can go out and convince somebody that I'm good, then I can make some money. That's very different. Then I am inspired to, oh my God, music's playing inside of me. I can't wait to pick up an instrument and play it. I couldn't care if anybody listens. I couldn't care if I get hired. Those are two totally different motives for why you're acting. One is based upon the fact that you've cleansed at least enough for beautiful energy to flow, creative energy, love energy. It's all beautiful. And you're expressing it. Not, I need it. So I'm not expressing it. I'm taking it out there. I'm trying to make things be the way I need them to be so that I can be okay. Not, I screwed myself up, and what I need to do is cleanse. I need to clean out so that I can feel the natural energy. And don't doubt that you can feel it. Every one of you is capable. And like I said, I don't want to hear that you did things wrong. Yogananda used to teach that. He told everybody, don't tell me what you did wrong. Tell me what you did right. Because light dispels darkness. Rise above anything you did that ever hurt anybody, that was ever out of balance, that was done out of selfishness, that was done out of the other method I just talked to you about. Yes, during my life, all of it, mostly, all right, you were out there taking. You call it giving all you want. You were taking. You're trying to make people and places and things and finance and every single thing be the way you need it to be so you could be okay. Why? Because you're not okay. But I just told you why you're not okay. You're not okay because you blocked yourself. So you have a choice. Go out and do one or work on yourself. But when you start to work on yourself and you realize, I didn't have to do those things before. I look at where I was. Don't feel guilty. There's no place for guilt or shame in this path. If you do something and you know it's wrong, out of balance, and you do it anyways, then guilt is a very good thing to have because it steers your boat. You hear me? Because you're not steering it, it steers it for you. It'll make you feel weird next time. If you did something in the past, and we all have, that you feel that I was out of balance, okay? The fact that you're calling it out of balance today, you didn't call it out of balance yesterday, means you grew. It means you learned. Don't ever let yourself learn something and then look back and judge the you that didn't know it. That's not fair. That's ridiculous. If you're learning a sport, tennis, let's say, and used to hit it into the net. Now you're a good tennis player. Don't feel embarrassed if you go see somebody that used to hit in the net around. Okay? You learned, you grew. And don't justify it or defend it. Just feel glad that you learned. Well, it'll be the same way psychologically. If you learn behavior patterns that are more harmonious, more loving, more caring, and so on, and you've learned that, then basically look back and say, you know what you should say to your past bad behavior? Thank you. Thank you. If you failed math in third grade and they held you back, and now you have a PhD in theoretical mathematics, when you look back, don't be embarrassed. In third grade, you failed math. Look back and say, thank you. Thank you. You set me on a path that I got better with things. My teacher was better. You feel good about things. Feel good that you grew. I'm talking to you now, not about yoga asanas or meditating, about the way your attitude about yourself and how you live your life within yourself. So I've just told you, no shame, no blame. Unless I used to have here's your litmus test. Somebody comes back and says, they come to, let's say, I feel so terrible. Years ago, I did this and then hurt this person and so on. I ask a very simple question. If the same situation unfolded today, would you do the same thing? Invariably, they say, no, of course not. Then you grew. That's wonderful. Throw a party. Rejoice. Give yourself some ice cream. It's your birthday. You were born. So, do you understand what I'm teaching you? Right? Otherwise, you hold yourself back from where you are now by the way it was before. It's crazy. But they won't teach you this. You understand that? I'm so crazy that I teach students, if they study and take a test, some science test, math test, and they get 3 wrong, throw a party, because then you'll learn how you were viewing it wrong and not do it again. That's the purpose of going to school, not to get straight A's. If you got straight A's all the time, you're in the wrong courses. You're not learning anything. But when you get something wrong, have you ever got something wrong? Say, oh my God, I see what I was looking at wrong. That's wonderful. Don't go out and get B's, you can get A's. But you just get to the point where you look at yourself and you realize you're in here and you're growing. And the way you grow is to realize that if I shove stuff down in here, because I can't handle the moments that are unfolding, I'm going to be a mess. It's like a computer virus. Everything you shove down there, it just grows down there and it pollutes the other stuff that's down there. The next thing you know, you start associating something that isn't the same, but you tie it together with something that bothered you, and now you're afraid of everything. People laughed at you once in school. Now you're afraid to raise your hand and say anything. You hear me? It just goes down there and screws up your whole life. So this is what living spiritually means. It means first understand if there's anything wrong inside of you, and of course there is, it's only because you stored this garbage inside of you. All this talk that the mind does, I talk about the voice inside your head. If you will watch it, the vast majority of what it talks about is that you're afraid, that you need things. I need them. How can I get them? What should I do? And it just goes off on this path of, I'm not okay. How do I do the world to make me be okay? And just watch it talk. Watch it. Have you ever talked to somebody, had a conversation, walked away, and the conversation kept going in your head? Why did I say that? I said, oh God, I should have said that. Would have been impressive. Yes or no? Don't blush. That's because you're not okay. All right? That's what it boils down to. Right? If you're very sensitive, and you're dying, you screwed your body up, then everything you eat, you're afraid you're going to get sick. So the answer is not to go out there and make things be the way you need them to be so that they don't bother you. That's ridiculous. All right? You will fight with that your entire life. It'll never go away. Check your parents, check your grandparents, check your great-grandparents, check history, check everybody. There is no person that has ever gotten it the way they wanted for any period of time and were totally okay because they married somebody or because they had this or because they earned money. Do you understand that? Go buy a new car. How long does it last? The car will last, but how long does the excitement of getting into that car and driving somebody around in that car and showing it off, how long does that last? Okay, you wake up, you realize getting what you want is so overrated, it's ridiculous. Getting rid of why you need things is permanent. So if you need somebody to respect you and to love you and to coddle you and take care of you, it's because you're not whole within yourself. You don't feel complete, you don't feel whole. I've told you why you don't feel whole. It is because you blocked all that stuff inside so you don't feel the natural flow of energy coming up. But if you don't see that, then you have to go out there and find the right person and manipulate them and get them to think. But then they got their own stuff. And if you notice, relationships aren't all that easy. That's why, all right? Because each person is trying to make the other person be what they need it to be. Okay? And so you eventually reach the point where you realize you don't renounce the world. It is not about renouncing the world. You interact with the world, but you start watching why you're interacting. If you're interacting because you're not okay and you're trying to satisfy your needs and trying to attract to yourself what you want so you feel better, check it out. Just check out how busy that makes the mind. Check out how often you feel failure. Check out how often you feel fear. Just check out what that does. And eventually you will reach the point where you say, this is not working. My entire life, I've tried to get things the way I want them to be. And I'm a certain age now, and I'm still doing the same thing. I always ask you, if you do the same thing your entire life and you're still doing it, maybe it doesn't work. Maybe there's a better way to do it. And there is a better way to do it. Get rid of these blockages that you stored inside yourself. And it's not all or nothing. As you release this stuff, all right, let's start this way. As you don't put more in, you have better days. If you say something to me and it normally would have bothered me, but I look at it, I say, it's okay. You had a bad day. You're in a bad mood. Fine. Let it go. Now we're going to go down really deep. How about I say, I forgive you? It's not good enough. You do it, if that's where you're at. What I've learned is, if I don't judge what you did, I don't need to forgive you. So the fact that you need to forgive somebody means you already judged what they did. So you can go so deep that whatever happens just passes through. If I'm not holding on to it, I don't need to forgive you. So I want you to understand what the deep states are about. They're about freedom, about liberation, about openness, about always feeling joy and love and inspiration as you go through your day. So if you're willing to take that on as your spiritual growth, and it is your spiritual growth, yes, you meditate, yes, you do mantra, yes, do all the techniques. But if you don't do this, you'll have some nice deep meditation and come back and get screwed up in 15 seconds. The phone will ring. What was that? Why are they calling me? Well, oh my God, I hope it's not. How often have you, I'm going to ask it, how often have you found your mind thinking that something's going to happen that you don't like, that you don't want? Somebody says, the boss said, I want to talk to you. Or somebody says, oh, I'm going to give you a call. I want to talk about something. And your mind makes up what it is they're going to talk about. And you get yourself upset. I guarantee you what you made up is due to your past experiences. That somehow the teacher said, stay after, I want to talk to you. And you got in big trouble. And now somebody just says to you, give me a call. I want to talk to you about something. It's just the tone of their voice. And your mind for the next hour, yes or no. Again, it's because you stored that stuff in there. Otherwise, this does not have to happen. I don't care what they tell you. You can be clean in there. It can be beautiful in there. And again, what does it mean to be strong? I don't mean strong enough to put a barrier up. I can handle anything you say. I mean be strong enough so you don't have to put the barrier up. The Zen type thing. The wind can blow down the oak tree, but it can't blow down the grass because it bends. All right? That's real strength. You know what real strength is? I don't have to defend myself. Not I'm really good at it. Because I can handle things. That's real strength. I can handle the moments that are passing through me. That's the whole theme of this thing. All right. But you can't. So what I teach you all the time, what do? You learn. You can learn. Just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you can't learn to do it. And so you wake up and you sit there and say, yes, those issues are in here. I see them. I see the sensitivities. I see the fears. I see the self-conscious, the anxiety, the embarrassment. I see it. I see the past situations keep coming back up. I dream about them. And somebody says something, they come up and I get all weird. That's the energy hitting your blockages. That feeling of just weird, just off, is the Shakti, that beautiful Shakti hitting your blockages. It gets weird and you get spacey and the body locks up because the energy is not coming into the body properly. You get all kinds of tensions and so on. Wake up. That's all that's going on, is because you stored this stuff in there. If you get rid of the stuff, how? Learn. How do you learn? I tell you all the time, take the small things that happen in your life. Driver in front of you, the weather, what somebody said, what somebody didn't say, what you think somebody might say later. The ones that are just meaningless. You're causing yourself damage. They're not even happening. Or if they are, they're nothing. Okay? And start practicing letting go. Practice handling that. People say, what do you mean by letting go? Should I not get a job? Should I not have a relationship? Is that with surrender? No, that is not. Letting go means just what I told you. You are in there pushing it away. Don't. Let it go. That's it. Just literally those hands in there that control and push away and protect and do all that. Practice not doing that. Just like the Olympians practice their sport. This is your sport. The sport of spiritual growth. The sport of becoming you want a gold medal? Let it be permanent. All right? Win the gold. Go for the gold. And just keep relaxing past the part of you that would resist. You can't do it with everything, but you can do it with these little things. You can do it. And so basically start working with yourself to let go of the things you would have resisted. There, now you understand what making means by let go. Let go of the events that are coming into you that already happened. You're not going to change them. They already happened. That you have hands in there, just your psychological hands that want to resist, that want to push it away. They want to protect yourself. All right? These are practices I did years and years ago, all right? 50 years ago. I practiced it. Somebody says something to you. Defensiveness comes up in you. Does anybody know what defensiveness looks like? Okay, you feel it. You feel it come up. You got to defend yourself. Don't. Ah! What do you mean don't? Try it. Just try it. Wait till you see the turmoil that goes on inside. And then you'll see why you had to do it. All the fear, the protection and all that garbage, right? So if it's just for some small thing, somebody says to you, you told me yesterday that this would happen. It didn't. Right? Yeah, you're right. I dare you. I dare you. Yeah, you're right. No justification, no rationalization, no, oh, but they want to like me. They might think I'm stupid. They'll never listen to me again. Yeah, okay. Let it all go. And little by little, you practice using life to let go of the stuff you stored inside. First, it's difficult. And then all of a sudden, they write me all the time, all right? Say, I practiced this. My whole life has changed. My whole life has changed. I was in a relationship with my wife and we were going to get divorced and so on. And now we're not. And we both practiced this and it just changed everything. Of course, it's going to change everything because you're not listening to the lowest part of your being. So you start practicing letting go, and you're going to find that if you do that, you get better at it. Just like if you play an instrument and you practice, just like you're learning a sport and you practice, you get better, don't you? Get better at accepting and honoring life. Now, again, people misunderstand if I say accepting. If somebody gets raises in the job and I don't, is it wrong to go talk to the boss and find out why? Of course it's not wrong. Of course you interact with the world in a normal way. You don't interact with it because you can't handle it. If you're interacting with the fact that you can't handle something, you're not going to do very well with it. You just admit it, I can't handle it. Well, then you shouldn't be dealing with it. How about, I'll tell you what, you're going to have an operation and you heard the surgeon who they assigned to you saying, I've never done this one before. I don't think I can do it. I can't handle this. I don't feel comfortable about it. Well, then you don't have that person do the surgery. And if I get in a car accident and you're the first person that shows up and you can't handle the sight of blood, just keep driving by because you're of no use to me. So what you do is realize I'm not going to interact because I can't handle it. I'm going to let go of the part of me that can't handle it. Then I will interact. Nobody says you don't interact. You interact from total clarity and just the ability to see what is the best thing to do in this situation. Not, I can't handle the situation. What do I need to do to make it so I can handle it? Did anyone hear at that time? That's a whole different motive for action. I'm acting because I'm not okay. Well, then you're not going to do very well. I guarantee you right now. The fact that you're not okay is not going to be a basis for deciding the best thing to do to help this situation. So first, let go of the part of you that cannot handle it, that's not okay. It won't be perfect. It's not like, I let it go so it's gone. No, it's been in there a long time. It's going to take a while. But the fact that you took the position that what I want to do is let go, that's a major part of it. The fact that first step, that I'm not going to use this to push and defend and take and fight, right? That I'm going to use this to go up, I'm going to use this to let go. That's what letting go means. But it does not mean that as you let go, that you don't look and see, okay, fine, I can handle it. Now, what's the best thing to do in this situation? What can I do to raise the situation, to make it more harmonious for everybody? And that's what you'll see. When you start to look and see what's best, it won't be for you. It's not against you. You're not renouncing. But when you look for best, other people are part of the situation. You look to see what's best for everybody. It's really beautiful. What if everybody did that? And so you interact accordingly, but you don't not interact. So I'm painting this picture of what it's like to live inside yourself. You're a letting go machine. And wait till you see how much you have to let go of. It's going to freak you out. You'll be sorry you came here. There's a lot of stuff in there, and it's very reactive, isn't it? And some people just say, well, that's just the way I am. It is not just the way you are. You're the consciousness aware that you have a part of your being that you have screwed up towards your psyche by shoving all this garbage down there, and now it's a flaming mess. But the point is, you can let it go. And so you practice letting go, and I'm telling you, you will start to feel the Shakti. They write me, it's just beautiful, it warms me so much. I was driving down the street, and I'd gone through this tough time, and the clouds were starting to clear, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, I just got filled with this love, this joy. And I lasted. Thank you. Thank you. That's how you bring God into this world, by getting out of the way, the channel. And it affects everybody. If you interact with somebody out of defensiveness or interact with somebody because you need something, that's very, very different. Now, interacting with that person because you love them. I don't mean love them husband, wife. You just love them. They're a person. I told you, the way you will end up looking at every single person once you get clear is That is the sum of that person's past experiences expressing itself. That's psychology says. You're the sum of your learned experiences. No, your psyche is the sum of your learned experiences. And everyone had different experiences, and that particular person had the experience that made him behave the way he just behaved. Well, isn't that fun? Isn't that neat? We're all really that different. And guess what? You who's in there watching the sum of your learned experiences and learning to let them go, that same consciousness is in there watching the sum of his learned experiences. When you get back inside yourself enough to see what I'm talking about and see the beauty of that your conscious, the Chit Shakti, the beauty of your consciousness, everybody's the same back there. That's what Namaste means in the Hindu tradition. That which is God within me respects the God within you. And so basically you're in there and you see your stuff, but you can't see it till you work through enough. And now you realize, well, okay, everyone else got their stuff. It's different than mine. They had different experiences. And that's called, to me, that's compassion. It's not what Webster defines it as. But compassion is not sympathy. Sympathy is, oh, from just like you, I feel so sorry for you. I went through that all. That's sympathy. Compassion is, I've gotten out enough to realize I don't have to be him. I got one, but I don't have to be him. And I know what it's like to not have gotten out. And I respect that. I honor that. And I have compassion. Don't tell them that, right? But I have compassion for what you're going through. I have compassion. So it's this tremendous openness and love for everybody, no matter what they've ever done, no matter what they do to you, no matter whatever happens. You're going to used to say, but by God's grace, there goes myself. It took me a long time to tune into that. That's saying the same thing. If I'd gone through what you went through, God knows how I'd be. Okay? And so you'd end up not judging. That's so beautiful. The third Zen patriarch says, to end the burdensome process of judging. Christ said, judge not that ye shall not be judged. When you catch on, you don't judge anybody. You just understand that is what the sum of the learned experiences did. Net result is you get to the point where once you get clear, the whole world changes. But it didn't change. Your view of it changes because you came from a higher place. You stop judging. You stop taking. If you're whole, why do you take? You don't need anything. Imagine meeting someone that doesn't need anything from you. They just love you. It's like, that's all there is to it. And they're helpful. If there's anything that you need or something, they try to help, but they want anything back. You're uncomfortable with that. People are uncomfortable. Gibran writes that beautifully on giving in the Prophet. And he talks about how we're embarrassed to receive. Somehow we're lower or something. He said, no, if somebody's giving, what does he say? Raise on their gift as on wings, that you go together to heaven, right? Accept that people want to give and honor and respect and so on. You just get open. That's all I'm telling you. That's all this garbage about how things are supposed to be and not supposed to be, and what you like and what you don't like, and what you want and how do you get what you want. It all stops. Imagine that. Imagine that not going on in there. And all that's going on in there is love. All that's going on in there is tremendous peace and beauty. And now come out and interact with the world by all means. Okay? So that is the inner life as opposed to the outer life. But what people misunderstand is they think in order to live the inner life, you have to renounce the outer life. That's not true. That's what Siddhartha was all about by Hess, that beautiful book. That he ended up living, and the monks in that book, I don't remember that, I read it a long time ago, the monks, the traditional monks, Buddhist monks, they did the practices, and they felt he fell off the wagon, and he went out there and had marriage, and he had this and the money and so on. And in the end, he was the one that was completely at peace. He had gone through and needed to go through. He went through it open. He became purified, and now he just sat by the stream and was completely contented, at peace. He worked through his stuff. That's what you're doing every day of your life. You're living that life. Unless you honestly believe that what my life is about is getting what I want and avoiding what I don't want, then you're going to keep your stuff. You'll leave a trail behind you that if you look back, it's not pretty. You're a taker. Okay? But instead, if you use it for your growth, you use it to let go of yourself, then the Shakti will come in. She will. The Shakti will come in. And she's always there. She just won't be blocked. And just feel, what does it feel like to feel the Shakti? It feels, take the highest thing you've ever felt. A moment of love, of intimacy, a moment of winning, and it's just wow, right? Everybody's clapping at what you did. Just feel that elation. That's not an emotion. An emotion, the way I describe it, an emotion is something that shoots out. Anger, fear, need, it shoots out. That's because the Shakti hits the blockages. There's a flow of energy that's not an emotion. It's the energy itself. So elation, total joy, total love is something that flows up untouched. It doesn't flow out. It flows up. When you're in the arms of your beloved in a special moment, you're not there. There's no emotion. They want to call that an emotion. It's not an emotion. It's the Shakti. That's what you're experiencing. You're feeling a free flow of Shakti that made it around your blockages, but it won't last very long, will it? Your blockages will come right back, right? Somebody will not say exactly what you want to hear when I want to hear it. I told you, that's what I always say. You're there just melting. Oh, I love you so much. I've never loved anyone so much in my whole life. And the person says, yeah, I love you too. That's it. Gone. Yes or no? Gone. Right? It's so funny. You gave up beauty because somebody said something or didn't say something? What are you, crazy? Who cares what they say? You already won. Keep it. But you can't, can you? Because everything has to be the way you want to make it past your blockages. All right? But the flow of pure Shakti, the flow of pure love is not an emotion. It's the Shakti flow itself not being blocked anymore. And you can live in that state. You're a very great being, but you've locked yourself in this little cage because of these blockages, and now you're afraid of everything, and you got to keep it close. But you're this being of phenomenal light, okay? You have to decide, that's what I want to do with my life. I want to become the most beautiful being that could possibly exist and offer it to everybody. How's that? Is to teach you that. The highest life you can live is to offer every single person you meet the most beautiful human being they ever met. What can you do higher than that? Okay? But you got some work to do, don't you? So don't tell me you don't have a career. That is your career. God realization is your career. The other is something you do while you're growing. Well, life will come to you. You interact with it to the best of your ability. Ultimately, you're not working ever. You're serving. And that's not me telling you should be serving. It's that you don't need to work. There's nothing you need. But yet life is presenting you with things to do. And so you do it as a gift to God. You do it as a gift to life. Every moment of your life, everything you're doing, you're not doing for yourself. There's nothing to get. You don't need a paycheck. I told you, if you're living properly, on Friday they give you your paycheck, you have no idea what they gave it to you for. Whoa, thanks. Because all you did was honor and respect the flow of life that was passing before you and serve it to the best of your ability. You go live like that and see what happens. So it's all about letting go of yourself ultimately. And different situations will mirror yourself. They will show you where you're caught, won't they? Like I said, the person will say, yeah, I love you too. Well, why would you give up love, beautiful, beautiful love, because of what somebody said or didn't say? That's a very bad trade, isn't it? And so basically you start noticing your self-consciousness, your embarrassment, your need, and this and that. And you use every situation to let it go. That's what you do all through your day. You let go. You let go. So you're not surrendering life. You're surrendering the part of you that can't handle life. Can I repeat that? Because people get it wrong. You're not surrendering life. Life is unfolding. It's bringing itself to you. You're interacting with it. You're surrendering the part of you that can't let it pass through. And then people say, well, isn't there some time you should act? And so, yes, I told you, once you have let go, at least wanted to, your intention was to let go of the garbage that hid inside of you, and you have some clarity, yes, by all means, interact with what's in front of you to raise it to the best of your ability, but not because you can't handle it. I'm having a very strong talk tonight about how to live inside yourself. Other people can teach you meditation. Other people teach you mantras. They teach you all kinds of stuff, right? Fine. By all means, do these things. They help you, right? But if you don't live like this inside, it'll just be an experience that you had. Oh, I had this deep meditation. Oh, I had this experience. I went to see this guru in the Himalayas. Yeah, what are you doing now? I don't know. Life isn't working the way I wanted it. All right? And you just get to the point where you understand there's work to do in there, real work. And life will naturally unfold, and it's helping you. Because as it unfolds, your best part of life, Yoga Shakti, the one who gave us the Durga statue, very great saint, once said, problems are the nectar of life. Why? You only have a problem because you can't let it go. You can't let that part of life pass through. So they're showing you where you need growth. And so you become a person who catches on how to breathe, how to let go, how to let things pass through. And I always give you a warning sign. If you can handle the day, not put more stuff down there, I'm telling you, the old stuff will start coming back up. Don't write me and tell me something went wrong. That stuff's in there, it's suppressed, and it needs to go in order for the Shakti to flow. And she's going to push it up. And now that you haven't pushed more stuff on top of it, it's going to start coming up by itself. The Shakti will push your stuff up. It will push it up naturally when it's ready. It does it by itself. And you just have to be willing to let go. Eventually you catch on, this is nice. It's like soul birth. Childbirth has pain. It was beautiful in child, right? Soul birth has pain. What pain? The pain that you stored from the past needs to come back up and pass through. Are you willing to breathe through it? Just like you breathe through asanas. You take a yoga class. They tell you, oh, it's tight. Just relax and breathe through it. Do the same thing inside. And eventually you'll catch on that no amount of inner pain, psychological pain, is not worth going through. Period. Because on the other side of that is complete liberation, complete freedom. You don't have to worry about anything ever again. The only thing your mind thinks about is the task in front of it. Be here now. It's not to worry. Imagine never worrying. Imagine not being afraid anymore. Wouldn't that be nice? Not because I'm strong enough. I took classes how to defend myself. How about I don't need to defend myself? Wouldn't that be beautiful? All right. That's a life that's waiting for you. If you're willing to let go, you're willing to live this. So I think I've painted it stronger than I normally do. Of every minute of every second of your life, that is the meaning of your life. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. Earth is a place that souls are sent to evolve. How are you doing? Are you evolving? Are you letting go every day? Literally, it can be a state where when you go to bed at night, you're not the same person that woke up in the morning. You can live like that. If you let go of your stuff, it's different when you put your head down than it was when you woke up, because you let go of some stuff. And eventually, every time you lay your head down, it just pours a Shakti come pouring through you. When you sit down, eat, anything, all it does is that's what they call Divine Mother. She flows and feeds you inside. All right. You're listening? Do you understand how beautiful it can be? You're a very great being. You're a very great being. And nothing you ever did will ever take that away. You just have to be willing to let go and not store the garbage inside of you. And you'll find your own greatness. Jagrif.
You've been listening to the Michael Singer Podcast, produced by Sounds True in partnership with Shanti Publications. For more information on Michael's body of work and all back episodes, please join us at michaelsingerpodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. Sounds True, waking up the world.